Hey guys, welcome back to Linda's Resin Room. I've been trimming resin pieces, so sorry about that. Had a piece fly. I got this mold in the mail from Temu, and I want to do a bloom. It's a tray, and it's kind of a different shape, but it reminds me of a candy corn just because of the shape. So I'm going to do yellows and oranges. I've mixed up 8 ounces, 240 grams of resin. And it's been sitting for 15 minutes or so. And it's at 33.4. I did put it in the debubbler for 10 minutes prior to that. So I'm going to measure out 20 grams for my white. Okay. I know I don't like to go over. Drives me crazy. Okay, 20 grams. Turn this off. Now let's decant the rest of this. And I really think this will need all of that. Or almost all, I suppose. Let's see how full we are. It's pretty full. Okay, it's deep enough for me to do a bloom. And I still have just a little room, maybe 3 millimeter. Hopefully we can put a backing on it. All right, what color we want to start with? Let's do an apricot. These are all Let's Resin alcohol inks out of the 48-piece kit. 1, 2 drops of the apricot in the center. And let's do some dandelion yellow around that. And that one's coming out, isn't it? I'm just going to go around that twice just because that's such a light yellow. Okay, it's really spreading. Now let's do some orange. Oops, dropped it in the yellow. Be okay. Do a couple of drops of peach across the top up there and down here. And then I'm going to take the regular yellow and go right on top of that dandelion yellow. There. Okay, now let's mix our white up. Of course, I have my bloom paste. Open it just a half twist. Now you're going to squeeze this barely until it comes to the end. When it comes to the end and bubbles up, you're going to let it drop. There's 1 drop. And 2 drops. I did 20 grams, 2 drop. This is a 10-to-1 bloom paste by Julie Cuts, Pouring Your Heart Out. And she tells you 1 drop for every 10 grams. And it works out beautifully every time. I always have such pretty blooms when I use that paste. Okay. I don't want a streaky white. We're just going to let that color do. I feel like the table is pulling down this way a little bit. So I'm wondering if I can prop up this corner just a little. If I don't get the inks into the piece, right? And see if that will help to. I'm just throwing inks everywhere. Let me try to move them out of my way. See if that'll help that piece kind of stay a little more level. I don't know if that's enough or not. Okay. Even though I checked this table and it said it was level before I did this. They never are. Not for me anyways. Okay. Just going to keep mixing my white. Now I decanted my resin at, what was it, 33.3 or something degrees Celsius. you want to do that between 33 and 36 degrees Celsius, or if you're going by Fahrenheit, 95 will work up into 107. 107 is a little high to me. I don't like to wait that long because I take my time and I get in no hurry to make a bloom. So this resin's thickening as I'm fooling around, so to say. Still got streaky white on my stick. Let's try this again. Okay, I think I've got it now. Now you want your white to look like skim milk. So do you see that? How you can see through that stick? Let's get the back end. You can see through that. It's like skim milk. That's how you want your white. If it's completely opaque, it's going to be too much and it's all going to drop to the bottom. The resin can't hold it up. If you don't put enough, you end up with a little wispy looking bloom, and they're still pretty too. I do like a wispy bloom sometimes, but I'd rather have a solid bloom that floats and doesn't drop. Okay, so I'm just going to pinch my cup, put that right up under the rim. Now guys, you can pipe, you can use a stick and draw your petals through, but you know, I like to use my cup. I've already got it in there and I have more control. I'm drawing some little wispy lines just because I want to get those corners. And I have a little white left. I knew that would be plenty. Okay. Now I like this little tiny dotting tool to draw my petals. And you can see I didn't use my heat gun on my white, so now I've got a few little bubbles in there. So let's start pulling in some of these. Okay, now we're going to pull them out. And I'm going all the way up to the edge of the mold just because I didn't leave much room. Okay. Now, I'm going to let this set for a few minutes. I'm going to pop those bubbles, even though you shouldn't, because you're going to end up with holes in your piece. And then you're going to have to fix those. Do you see these holes? And I just take my dotting tool and pull up on those holes, and they usually will close. Okay, I'm not worried about the rest. Someone told me if you wait 10 minutes and then do your swirl, that it looks better. Now, I don't have 10 minutes to wait. I've got to get to work, so we're going to have to go ahead and do this. So I start from the center, and I swirl out, and then I swirl back in. And that's it. All right, guys, I'm going to leave this alone. Let it do its thing. I've got to get to work. I have patients waiting, I'm sure. But no, I don't start till 9 o'clock. But I go in an hour early. I like to prepare for the day. But anyways, guys, that is our bloom in this mold. I still feel like we're a little further down on that side. Oh, I forgot to use the rest of our resin. Let me get my gloves back on. Oh, no. So, let's see. I've got some new little molds. I definitely want to do my little butterfly again. I want to do him. I want to do this in clear. These molds are from Into Resin. And I seen them do this in clear, and it was so pretty. I should have put a little sparkle in that, shouldn't I? A little crushed crystal. Maybe the next time. I do want to fill that up. Okay. And I got something in it. Well, if I can get it out. There we go. Alright. Now for the white. I'm going to add some color in there. This is a resin dye. I've had it forever. It just says purple. I don't even know if it's open. It is. Let's drop some purple in the white. Okay. And let's give this a little stir. And I'm going to put some crushed crystal in this. Let's see, where is it at over here? I should just leave this stuff out. Which I've got 3 or 4 different brands that I like to use. So, I guess that wouldn't work, would it? Alright, I'm just going to put a little in there. Put a little in there. For whatever we decide to do with that. Okay, let me get this crushed crystals mixed in this. I'm going to try to get all that white mixed up in that purple. Okay. Now let's just pour this in here, and I do know you have to work with the wings a little bit, otherwise you can get bubbles down in there. So we're not going to fill it completely. And I don't think this purple's going to fill it completely anyways. I think it's going to need more color. Okay, I've still got a little I can get out of there, but I just want to squeeze these little wings. Just to make sure there's color down in there. Okay. Now let's see if we can get the rest out. There's a little white that didn't mix up, but that's okay too. Because this almost fills this mold up. Almost. Okay, let me clean this stick off. Now we're just going to fill this up with just a little bit of this clear. Oh, I got to mix it. And it's really getting thick. And that'll mix itself, I'm sure. Okay, got that one. I don't think I have enough to do that. We'll pour what we got. And then we'll fill it up with a color or something later. If it's not enough. And you know what, guys? It may be enough. But I've got something floating in it. I've got to get that out. Okay. I think we're going to be... Yeah. I really thought it would use more than that. I'm going to have to take a dotting tool around that too. I just don't want air bubbles down in there. This is a really pretty tray. Thing with this mold is, if there's air bubbles down in there, you're probably not going to see it because it's a diamond mold. Okay. I don't know if we'll be able to get any more down in there or not. Look. Yeah, I believe we can get the rest of it. Scrape the rest out of this cup. Okay. Almost. And get to work. And then we can demold this afternoon. Put a backing on our bloom. Probably do a black backing on the bloom since it reminds me of a candy corn. So I want those colors to show. Okay, let me clean this stick off, clean my gloves off. Where's my alcohol? I like to use 99% isopropyl alcohol to clean my gloves. I do have 91 ISO, and you can use either one. It's just my preference. I do have a few little bubbles floating on top of that. He's blooming very well, isn't it? Alright guys, let me get these gloves off. Don't want my phone to be sticky. Just got to use that today to send prescriptions. Alright guys, I'll see you back this afternoon. Hopefully, gosh, that's close. I don't know if we'll be able to, I'm hoping we can put a backing on here. I think it's going to be very thin, but I think we can get one on there. And I'll see you guys this afternoon. Bye. Hey guys, I have decided that I'm probably going to screw this up, but I have this Marabou alcohol ink rose gold, and I think it's really light, but I want to put on the back of that. That's still got some room in there. It's not filled all the way up. And I thought maybe this will help it to shine through a little bit, because these inks are very light. That's not like what I thought it would be. But you know what? I think it still might be pretty. Just going to put a bunch on there. That wasn't the one I thought it was. Oh no. I'm going to take a toothpick and I'm just going to swirl that around a little bit. This resin's pretty thick, so it's already thickened up. Just see if it'll give it a little something extra. And I don't think it's too thick that it's stopped moving. I think that'll move around a little bit down in there, hopefully. Mix. And we'll see what it looks like this afternoon. Alright guys, I'll see you back later. Bye. Hey guys, so this is cured up. These we can demold in just a minute. But I've got 2 ounces, 60 grams of resin. And I think I've got enough room that I can do a very thin layer on the back. So I'm using the Let's Resin Black Epoxy Pigment Paste. I'm just going to squeeze some of that down in there. And I am going to add just a little of our, you know what, I want the gold. Since that's orange, let's add a little gold Super Sparkle. Not a lot. Just a little bit there. Okay. And let's mix this up. Now, I haven't worried about the bubbles in this because this is very thin. It's going to be very easy for me to take a heat gun and just pop the bubbles off if there are any. But usually black paste or any kind of pigment paste helps to pop those bubbles. And the micro bubbles, you can't even tell there's micro bubbles if they are in there. I just want to make sure I get that black paste mixed up really well. It looks like it's bloomed beautifully. But there's just a lot of white around the edges, like clear, I guess. And I don't want you to be able to see clear through this tray. So I think the black will help that red and yellow kind of pop. Scrape this off, make sure that I don't have any clumps of paste anywhere. Okay, now let's see if we can get this to spread out without overflowing. I'm not going to pour it all quite yet. Now, my little silicone pusher has some dried resin on it. Trying to get that off before I do this. Can't grab a hold of it. Okay, I think I got it. Alright, now let's see if we can just get this to go to the edge. Now, if I had, trying to get those bubbles, if I had not let this piece cure completely before I'm adding this, then I would have wanted to hurry up and push this black around, just because of if it's still not cured all the way, then that black can push down in there from the weight of it and really mess up your piece. And this looks like it's going to be a really pretty tray. I would hate to mess it up. There's a little lip under there, and I'm just making sure that there's no bubbles. It's a very small little lip left, but it's enough, I think, to make this look really pretty. I don't know what that is. Probably a piece of resin off of this. Okay, it's not going to hold anymore. It is completely full. Well, I dropped my tissue. Trying to clean the black off of that and just dropped my paper towel right in the floor. Okay. Let's get these pieces unmolded. So this is our little tray. It's still a little bendy. Ooh, isn't that pretty? That just sparkles. Wow. That is a gorgeous mold. Now let's see how these angel wings are with that alcohol ink. That's pretty. I do like that. Oh, I got bubbles. I can fix them with some UV resin, but dang. It's still a little soft. I'm trying not to tear off the wings. There we go. You didn't get no bubbles down in the wings. That's pretty. All right. Set him to the side. I love this mold too. InterResin has some really nice molds. If you all use any of their molds, there is a discount code and a link in the description to where you can get 20% off. They always have them on sale already, but then you get 20% off of whatever the sale price is that they have. Okay. Just pop in the bubbles. Give it a few minutes and I'll pop some more. All right, guys, we'll let that cure up and then we will come back for a demold. I'll see you guys then. Hey guys, so this stuff has cured. I think we can get it demolded. It has sat overnight. Let's do our little couple of extras first. Ooh, I like the way that turtle turned out, and it doesn't even have a hole. That is awesome. You can see the gold in him. He just sparkles. Amazing that I got that mold off of Amazon. Now this is an InterResin mold. If you use InterResin, there is a discount code and 20% off discount code and a link in the description that you can use, because their stuff is a bit expensive. Okay, can I get my other? Oh, I like this too. That is so pretty. Okay, smooth on the bottom. Put him over there with his sister. Now let's see how our bloom turned out. I think this has turned out really pretty. I hope. It looked like it before I back coated it, so we're gonna find out. Okay. Ooh, I love that. I really like that. Must have been something on the mold. That is so pretty. All right, guys. I like that tray. For a Temu mold, that's a pretty nice mold. Alrighty, guys. I'll see you back for the next video. Bye.